Hey everybody, it's Adam Cardinal, Cardinal and Company team at HomeSmart. You are about to watch Home Buying 101 series sponsored by TMF Shamrock Home Loans. Great informative series, many parts to this. Check them all out. If you have any questions about this series, feel free to call us right down at the number below and enjoy watching the video. Hey guys, Adam Cardinal, Cardinal and Company team at HomeSmart, here with the next edition of Home Buyer 101. We're going into insurance. We've got John Lapointe here from Lapointe Insurance. John, thanks for having us out today.
Yeah, no, thanks for letting me be a part of this, Adam.
Yeah,
really appreciate it.
Love your building, love your office. This is great space. Thank you.
Yeah, we love it too.
Yeah. So before we get into what home insurance is, why it's needed, ways to save, different types of things, tell us a little bit about the history here. I'm big on local people. I'm sure you are too, supporting our local families and everyone who's in business here. So tell us a little bit of the backstory about Lapointe Insurance.
Lapointe Insurance is family business. I'm the third generation. My grandfather started the business in the 1960s. Yep, he was a mailman, and he worked at the post office. So he actually was like a clerk in the post office. And back in the day, unlike today, mail was like even more important, really big, that's how everybody got everything. And an insurance agency owner by the name of Mr. Poirier would come into his post office all the time and kind of got to know him and built up a kind of mutual respect to where he offered him a job to go work at his insurance agency. Yeah. And my grandfather was like, well, I work a split shift. Can I work 2 hours in the middle of the day at your agency and do that as like a second job? And he did, and then fast forward 5 years later, he was offered to buy the agency from him, working full-time, took over the insurance. And this is back in the 1960s, of course, when working at a post office is like the most well-protected job you could have. It's a civil service, so of course his family thought he was nuts for getting into entrepreneurship, but he did, and the rest is history, as they say. So yeah, we've grown a lot since that time. I think he had 1 employee when he started. Now we're up to over 25, so we've grown a lot, but we still, I think, really focus on local, really focus on helping the local community, and we still have that personal touch that I think you don't get from, one of the mega agencies or companies out there.
Yes, exactly. That personal attention to detail, having someone you can contact. You're not calling the 1-800 number and getting some random person on the phone that doesn't know your file, that doesn't know you, that doesn't know their family. You know everybody. Like, honestly, I send them a message, CC them, and it's normally instant response very quickly. Bring somebody else in from the office if they need to assist with something, and then we get it done. So you know it. If I'm using their services and referring them to my family and friends, that speaks volumes.
Absolutely, and we appreciate it, and we work hard too. I think that's something that, my grandfather had that work ethic that we always try and emulate here. We all work hard to make just help people, and if there ever is a problem that comes up, we want to make it right, you know, and so.
Well, that's another thing. I've seen you save deals where somebody was given a quote for home insurance, and the home insurance was going to take the client's DTI level just a little too high where they weren't going to be able to afford the house. Right. And then you guys reworked some numbers, pulled it out of the fire and said, no, I can get them this and this, and they're good.
Yeah,
we get that closing.
Absolutely. We're always trying to troubleshoot and to the extent that we can, make it work. So there's almost no scenario that you can't overcome, but for the most part, we try and think outside the box and get things done.
I love that. I love it. Yeah. So getting into the home insurance aspect now and how it plays out. So we're going through in this series, going through all the
steps of the home buying process.
We want to tell people how it all works so they get it. So at what step? They've had their offer accepted. We're lining up home inspections. When would you like them to contact you to start shopping for home insurance?
It's a great question. I honestly think that the earlier the better. As soon as you get an accepted offer, insurance should be one of the things that you start thinking about. Maybe you don't have to get quotes immediately. The best time to maybe finalize your insurance would be after the inspection is done, because the inspection you might learn a lot more about the house than you knew before. So I'd love it if people reach out as soon as they get the accepted offer so we can at least start working on it. Yep. And then wait until after the inspection maybe to finalize, because a lot of the things you find out in an inspection are things that are going to play into finalizing that home insurance, right?
Yeah.
Like the age of the roof and the hot water tank and the condition of the home are all things that insurance companies are going to care about.
Yeah.
So you might have just got your offer accepted. We'll start working on a quote and I ask you, how old's the roof on the house?
Yeah.
99% of the time, the client's going to say, I don't know. Like, what was it in the disclosures? No, it wasn't listed anywhere. Okay, well, when you get the home inspection done, they might be able to give you a good estimate of how old this roof is. And then we'll lock that in on the quote, because I'll estimate 10 years right now, but if you find out it was 5 years, great. Like, let's add that in. Maybe you get a discount.
Yeah.
If you find out it's 20 years old, okay, well, let's start thinking about maybe a different option, because now this company's not going to like the house because it's a 20-year-old roof.
Yep.
Who knows? Could be any number of things, but the earlier the better to start shopping. And then once you have that inspection done, you pretty much know everything you need to about the house for insurance, and we can really finalize that stuff then. And at that point, you still probably got like 30 days until you're closing, so we can coordinate all the paperwork with the mortgage lender and the attorney that they're going to need for your closing. Gives us plenty of time to get it wrapped up. Now, we can always come in later and still get stuff done. As
Yeah,
you mentioned.
I've seen you.
That's what
I've seen you.
that's a huge part of our value.
I've seen you do it in days.
Is that we're
Don't
able to
recommend it, but I've
like
seen you
we're-
do it in days when
exactly.
needed.
We're able to get it done in 24 hours or less if we need to, but like any professional, you prefer more time to get your stuff done,
Yeah.
and it puts you as the buyer in a better position too, because you are going to be giving us more time to get the most aggressive pricing, the best possible deal for you.
Yeah, and that was going to be my next question. So it's being Lapointe Insurance. It's not, hey, all right, here's what we have for insurance. Here's our one thing.
Right.
It's not like that. There is a bigger, larger company that uses a catchphrase which he's kind of altered to make your own. I'm not going to steal your thunder if you want to say it, but you have all these different options. They can save more time. You can.
Oh yeah, so it's what do they say? 15 minutes can save you 15% or more,
Yeah.
right, on your insurance. I'd like to say that we can we'll save you the 15 minutes, and we'll probably save you more than 15% if you just let us do the shopping for you.
Yes.
Because I think that's really is the biggest value that we can provide. We're an independent agency, or a broker is another word for it.
Yes.
So we work with over 15 companies, and we can shop between all those companies. A quick phone call, less than 5 minutes, or we can send you to a application on our website, short questionnaire. All it's going to take is 5 minutes of your time. You keep the rest of your 10 minutes out of that 15,
Yep.
and we'll do the work for you. Probably within 24 hours, we'll have some quotes back to you from whatever company is going to be the best priced for you. We'll shop it out between all of them and then get you the best option.
And you send the tiers as well. There's like the minimum tier.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's also true. So outside of the different companies, we also do give different options. When we send over an email with the quotes, we're going to give you option for different deductibles, because that could be something that's a personal preference, could save you money if you decide to take a higher deductible, and also different coverage tiers. You may be the type of person that's just looking for kind of basic home insurance. You don't want the extra frills. You're just looking for what's required for the mortgage and just the big stuff, make sure the home is protected, but not going too crazy. And then maybe you're the type of person that wants to make sure you have all the little extra endorsements and coverages in there. So we'll give you both options. One coverage that's really beefed up with a bunch of stuff, one that's a little more basic, and then we can let you choose what is going to make the most sense for you, and also give you the information to help you make that informed decision too.
Yes, and I'm big on that. I'm big on giving information, explain, just like this video, giving the client the information, letting them make an informed decision at their choice, not saying this is what you have to do and here's how you do it. But no, here are your options. Being a teacher, being a leader, and then saying, okay, which way do you want to go? All right, let's go do it together. And we get.
I'm never gonna be the insurance guy that sits up on the high horse and shames you for not wanting more coverage.
Yes.
I'm gonna explain to you what the coverage is and what you wouldn't be getting if you don't get it, and then it's totally up to you. It's your policy, you know. As long as you know what it is and isn't, then you can make that decision for yourself. And that's what we try and do.
So you mentioned it a little bit in what we were just saying, but for mortgages, for your mortgage lender, home insurance is required. So a lot of buyers might not know that, and they don't anticipate that.
So have you ever seen a mortgage lender not require insurance?
Never. No,
Never.
absolutely not. Home insurance is always going to be a requirement if you're getting a mortgage.
Yes.
And when you do get that mortgage, pre-approval, or you get an accepted offer and your lender starts talking to you about your estimated monthly payment, one of the things that's going into that monthly payment is insurance. And your lender's going to give you an estimate at first, right? Most lenders that have some experience have a pretty good idea of what insurance should cost for a certain home, certain area. So that estimate should be pretty good. But once you get an actual insurance quote and start lining that up, that estimate that they have in your monthly payment is going to change to a real number, right? Maybe your lender estimated $100 a month for insurance, and then you call the big lizard company and they get you an insurance quote that's $200 a month.
Yes.
And all of a sudden your lender's like, whoa, this is way more expensive. You know, I told you your mortgage payment was going to be this. Now it's $100 a month more because your insurance is a lot more expensive.
Yeah.
So it's required, and it's also included in the monthly payment for the most part. And it also impacts your qualifying for the loan, because what you can afford monthly is going to going to determine whether or not you can actually qualify for that loan.
Exactly.
And insurance is part of that, which a lot of people don't realize until late in the
Yes.
process.
A lot of people don't realize the average mortgage has 4 components. It's PITI, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance are all rolled into your mortgage for the most part. Some of them are outside of that where you pay your own, but the majority of them are all balled into one. So all those numbers come into play when getting your pre-approval.
And especially right now with the way things are changing, with a little bit shifting in the market. I mean, everybody talks about the interest rates. I don't think it's something to necessarily be scared of, but it's something to be aware of, that interest rates are going up. So that first I in your monthly payment is going up. So then it makes it all the more important to make sure that the other, the T and the other, T you can't really do too much about, taxes, but insurance you can. So that's one way to make sure that you're getting the most affordable monthly payment you can. That other I, bring that down as best you can.
And you can, because I know they've done it for me, folks, so they can do it for you. Put packages together where we're adding a car in the home, you're doing that bundling, and you can save that way.
Yeah, absolutely. That's insurance companies do a lot of advertising. Some of it's gimmicky. That's one where it's definitely true. You hear it all the time, bundle and save your insurance.
Yes.
If you combine home insurance and car insurance, you're going to get a discount. And the nice thing about being an agency like us is that sometimes you don't even have to have the same company, but you still get a discount. Your home insurance could be with this company, your car insurance could be with this company, but because we're an agency, both companies are going to give you a discount for bundling it with the same agent. So you get like a support or company credit for doing that, and it's just an added benefit, So I always recommend getting a car insurance quote at the same time that you're doing the home insurance, just to maximize the savings.
Yep, absolutely. So we've picked out a plan, we've picked out an insurance plan. We're gonna lock in, we're gonna get that binder. How do I get that to my mortgage lender? My mortgage lender needs this. How do I get that to them?
Yeah, definitely. So we typically try and coordinate that directly with the lender for you, because that's something that can get a little tricky, and that's one of the things that can be more difficult when you're working with the 1-800 big insurance companies out there, because you're going to be responsible for a lot of that coordination yourself. But we really pride ourselves in kind of developing a partnership and creating a close relationship with the lender that you're working with, so that we can just coordinate that paperwork really easily for you. And a lot of people don't even realize it, because it's just something that kind of goes unnoticed. We just, got the quote for them, and I say, okay, well, I'm going to send the binder over to this company because I already know what that company wants the binder to look like, how we need to list the mortgage company on the binder. I ask for the loan number up front, so we need to put that on there so that it can identify to the same loan, and then all the other little verbiage that they might have required in there. So we usually take that off of your plate, but even if not, we have a good idea of what we need to do. If it's something that you do want to coordinate yourself, your lender is going to provide you with instructions for your insurance company, which we can bang that out pretty quick too. So,
and I really appreciate that, being on the listing side or on the buying side, having like-minded people that are working together, that are coordinating together, that we do it all the time where we're CCing each other with the client or with the lender. So there's less having to do and having to organize when everyone's on the same page right from the get-go. It's very important.
Right, yeah, keeping everybody in the loop is huge. And I think that's just, you know, I know you have other partners that you're showcasing in this video series, and it's just, there's a reason why, you know, as a realtor, you know, the best realtors like yourself have referrals that they're willing to give to professionals. And it's not because, like, you know, Adam and I are buddies and we go get lunch and drink beers or whatever. It's just because we work well together.
Yes.
And you know that you've established that relationship over time. I think you know, there's a reason when you refer people out that you're doing that. You know, it's because you know that things are going to go a lot more smoothly when it's somebody that you work with. You know,
right.
If there's a problem, you can call me and on my cell phone on a weekend, and I'm going to pick up the phone. I'm going to say, Adam, what's going on? How can I help? Right? But you know, with a mega company or something, you're not going to. Or same thing with the banks. You know, like if there's a bank that you don't know who they're working with, you have no established relationship. When the you know what hits the fan, it's going to be a lot more difficult for you to jump in and solve that problem for your client, right? Yeah. So, yeah, I think, you know, you do a really good job of putting the right people in place to help your clients, you know, whether it's, you know,
love having you as
Shamrock
part
or
of the
us,
team.
or, yeah, we appreciate it, so, yeah.
So in closing, I asked this to everybody in the, we've done in the series. One piece of advice off the top of your head you can offer to a buyer, they're looking in for insurance. What's the one thing that you would tell yourself if you weren't in the industry, that, hey, you need to do this?
Sure. So is this like after you have an accepted offer, before?
Yes. So after you have an accepted offer and you're starting that process.
Yes. So I think the best thing for you to do is to get options. Get as many options as you can. And we can provide multiple options for you, but we don't have every option. So it might make sense for you to get quotes from other places too. You know, I've just been singing my own praises the whole time, and you have too. But that doesn't, you don't have to work with us. There's a lot of good companies out there, good agencies that may be a good fit for you. And I think just staying on top of it, you know, being your own best advocate is going to go a long way. So don't be afraid to shop around for different quotes and ask questions, because I can give you a ton of information, but unless you are inquisitive and you actually want to know, you're not going to get the same level of understanding, I think, you know? And I think maybe it's your first time buying a house, your first time home buyer, and Adam and everybody you've put them in touch with has made everything seem so easy and seamless, and that's great. But don't be afraid to ask questions, because there may be something that you regret not asking the question later, you know? Because if you ask like with insurance especially, if you ask the question after something happens to your house, well, if the answer isn't what you were looking for, it's too late, you know? Yeah. But if you asked us up front, hey, is this covered? Is that covered? Oh, no, it's not, but we can add this coverage to your policy for $50. Would you like to do that? Awesome. You saved yourself a huge headache 6-12 months down the line. God forbid that does happen, you know? So. Yeah.
And I want to close in this. One scenario I thought was really sticks out. Maybe about a year and a half ago, Kelly and I sent you a client. The client, when I said you need to get homeowners insurance, said, I work for an insurance agency. I'm all set. And I said, well, I said the same thing. Why don't you shop around? Just call this company, just get some numbers. Long story short, the person who worked at an insurance company bought insurance through you.
Yeah, I remember that.
Like, you know, so
I tried to offer them a job, actually. But they were happy with where they were working, but we were just able to get them a really good deal with, you know, a company that their agency didn't have a contract with. They didn't have access to them. And that's why I'm saying to shop around and get options, because you may find that there's a company out there that I can't place your insurance with that another agent can, and it's actually like a way better option for you. Well, then good. I want you to get the best deal that you can. I'll give you a bunch of free information, and then you go decide to work with them. Perfect. I can sleep well at night knowing you got a good deal. So yeah, absolutely. I appreciate that, Adam.
Yeah, John.
Hey.
Thank you so very much for doing this today. We really appreciate it. Hey guys, you've been watching the Home Buyers 101 series sponsored by Shamrock Home Loans TMF team. It's Adam Cardinal, Cardinal and Company team at HomeSmart, John Lapointe, Lapointe Insurance. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you at the next video. Bye-bye.